Hello everybody, Maroon Fury 7 here, and today we're going to be talking about a very serious topic. Now, I've never usually done these types of videos before or talk about this stuff that often, but to be honest, I feel like this just needs to be talked about because it's pretty important and it just needs to be discussed. So I really hope that this video reaches out to others and it just starts to, get popular, because this issue needs to be dealt with, and I don't think it's going to be dealt with if no one starts to speak up about it. So here we go. So down here with the smaller creators, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. It is complete chaos. There are a ton of different YouTubers out here trying to cause chaos, just trying to make enemies of the people, and it is just complete craziness because others just do not care. A lot of us down here are starting to get used to it, starting to just ignore other people that try to cause this crap, but to be honest, a lot of us are not, and some of us are starting to break. A few different YouTubers, now I'm not going to be naming anybody or showing screenshots, but a few YouTubers are starting to end up quitting or doing something far worse to themselves because of the harassment and the abuse and the misinformation that's spread about them online. For this reason, I really believe that at this point we need to be talking about this, because it's not the people's fault that they're still here making and doing crap that's just wrong, with people just being jerks and all that. It's heavily YouTube's fault itself. See, YouTube's code of conduct down here in the darker areas where all of us smaller creators reside is heavily ignored by creators, and especially YouTube itself, because whenever you report these negative people or attempt to report any of their posts or their channels because they're doing things that are wrong and against YouTube's code of conduct, it takes forever for YouTube to read it, because they use an AI software that basically goes over it for them. And then at that point, what is the point of trying to report them and ignore them if you can't get what you want in time? Because usually you should be able to report people for being bad or just being an overall jerk or just harassing you or doing things that violate the code of conduct, which is what you should do. It's the quickest solution. It's a solution that costs you less time, less effort, and less problems with the person, because the more you try to face it yourself, you just end up doing more damage to yourself and your mental health, and it just makes you feel miserable. I have seen a couple other YouTubers talk about how they felt with their drama that they've been dealing with, and it's pretty sad, to be honest. And I don't like this at all, because I have had issues in the past with one guy, the first person I ever got into drama with, which is how I met some of my friends. And because of this guy, it took over 6 months for just 3 accounts that he had to be banned from the platform because he was violating the code of conduct. That's ridiculous. That is not okay. YouTube should be looking at these reports and investigating immediately instead of sitting down and waiting for the AI to do it, because that's not okay. And multiple different YouTubers who harass others just get away with this crap, and it's absurd. There's no justice dealt. There is no anything. It's just, oh, you're on your own, screw you, and then we're just stuck here fending for ourselves in this coliseum that is basically inescapable. It's not okay for us to be suffering like this, and as a small creator myself, it is very upsetting. Now, one of the worst things I've dealt with was possibly a lot of other junk that I'm not going to get into, but a lot of other YouTubers I've seen are very good at ignoring this. I myself am good at it too, and I just live my own life and stay in my own lane. But recently I've been dealing with some other YouTubers who've been harassing some other people nonstop because they believe they're criminals, they're pedophiles or all sorts of junk like that. And that's not okay. They constantly harass them, they keep saying junk, and this does a lot of damage to their mental health, as they've been telling me. I'm not going to name who these YouTubers are because I respect privacy, but also I do not respect the fact that YouTube is not going to do anything no matter how many times you report them. You literally have to spam report the person multiple times just to get YouTube to respond. And it is annoying. Very, very annoying. It is a tedious process, and I hate it so much. Because of this, a lot of other YouTubers are quitting because they're never getting the justice they need. Other YouTubers are just left to fend for themselves as this crap just keeps going on. And it's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to deal with this, because as creators, we're supposed to respect and follow the code of conduct because other creators are our coworkers. And treating our coworkers like garbage, like criminals, repeatedly nonstop with no sign of remorse or stopping is ridiculous and should be dealt with immediately. YouTube itself is not doing that. And for this reason, I feel like that's the reason a lot of these YouTubers are starting to quit or do very, very messed up things to themselves. And it's sad that I have to deal with this. It's sad that I have to see my fellow creators just deal with this, and it's not okay. To be honest, I just want people to be in their own lanes. I just want people to be okay. But because other people out there are not following the code of conduct, and they're getting away with it without YouTube doing anything or giving them any form of repercussions or warnings, it's just not okay. I don't like seeing this happen, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other creators happen. And I've seen so much, and it's ridiculous. I honestly think YouTube should just deal with this personally, and I think YouTube should start taking accountability and start doing what they need to do, because this is not okay. Being left to fend for ourselves will not last, does not help. It just makes things worse because we end up doing the wrong things and we end up just causing drama. This is something that a lot of us keep doing because we're often just trying to be in our own lane, and then someone else just comes out of nowhere and tries to disrupt our peace. This is not something that should be happening at all, whether or not you're a famous creator or a new guy with no subscribers. This should not be happening. And it is not okay that people will allow this to happen, especially YouTube's creators, especially YouTube's moderators. We shouldn't be doing this. And for that reason, it is not okay for us to be doing this because we just sit here and let them do it. Now, ignoring them is a good possible strategy that you can do. There are a ton of videos on YouTube that will help you with all of this and will show you what to do in these situations, and will tell you, hey, you can do this and it'll be all right, and eventually they'll go away, because that's true. Some of these YouTubers who are evil will only stick around for a period amount of time, and if you choose to ignore them, they'll stick around for even less time, because they know their target's not going to give them what they want in return, which is the attention they're craving, because that's what most evil YouTubers do, or they just do it to be evil. Now, there are also other things you could say, like, oh, well, we could fight back, we could make them regret it. No, you really can't. As much as you could do that and you could attempt to, you're just going to paint a target on your own back, because then YouTube's probably going to strike you down as well, which isn't something you want to do, because then that can be used against you. And yes, I agree. I have fought back in the past, but I eventually realized I just need to ignore these people, and it's easy to do that. But because of the fact that this is not dealt with by YouTube itself whenever people are reported because they were violating the code of conduct, is not okay. I will not stand for this. This is injustice on YouTube's part, and it needs to be dealt with immediately. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm not going to become a full-on negative channel, because, yeah, that's just not my vibe. But an occasional commentary video like this would be fun to do if I'm just talking about random junk. It's honestly pretty enjoyable making this, and even though it's just about drama and stuff. But, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all later. Peace.